Welcome to Americana Archives. Travel back in time with us as we go throughout America's historic newspapers to find the lost and forgotten history of America. Today's story comes from the great state of Kentucky, being reported in the Hopkinsville Kentuckian of August 19th, 1892. Today's headline is A Gentleman of His Word. The subheadline is 12 years, not too long for one man to remember a promise. It says, "What makes some men the soul of honor?" asks the storyteller. Every one of us has had some experience in life to prove to us that there are men of unimpeachable honor. I think the most honorable gentleman whom I ever met was a man of absolutely infernal luck. I first saw him in a frontier town. He had been a cowboy, but he had got caught in a terrible winter back on the plains, and at the time I first saw him, he was only a wreck of a man, with legs misshapen and weak, and eyes that were nearly blind. He seemed to be just clinging to life in that little Colorado town, doing what little he could in barrooms or going on slow errands until fate should be kind enough to take him away from his misery. He stopped me in the street one night. "Will you lend me $10?" he said roughly. "I'm in a bad way and I need it." Now $10 was a good deal of money to me at that minute, for in my Western experience, I had my ups and downs, and at that time I was having my downs. "Wouldn't $1 do you?" I asked, for the fellow looked so bad that I wanted to do something for him, but I knew that I should never see my money again. "No," he said doggedly, "it won't. I want to go to Denver. I am about crazy with pain, and I want to get there and see if I can't find some relief. I haven't a cent in the world." There were a good many men in that little town who were in the same predicament. "But I can't spare $10, I answered. "I need it." "You don't need it as much as I do," he said fiercely. "I tell you, man, that the hell that I am suffering would kill you. Lend it to me. I'll pay it back to you. Give me your name and address. I'll find you if I live." Well, I gave him the $10. I told him that he need not worry about paying it back. I expected to get out of my troubles someday, and then I should not feel the need of it. "No," he said, "I won't touch it on any other condition. I want to pay it back with interest, 12% a year." Money was worth something out there. So I wrote out my name for him, giving him as my permanent address the home of my family in the East. The next day he went to Denver. Shortly afterward, I climbed into a saddle and rode away to punch cows. I punched them with varying success all over the Colorado grazing fields for 9 years. Having had enough of cattle raising by that time, and my ideas of great fortunes having been considerably modified, I sold out my cattle and came back to God's own country. Of course, after the first few months following my loan of $10 to the cripple, he never came into my thoughts, though there were times when that $10 would have been a good friend, but I completely forgot about it. I had been East for 3 years, had married, and was the proud father of the 2 handsomest children in New York, when a letter was forwarded to me from my father's home in Massachusetts. It was from the cripple. In it was a post office order for my $10, and interest on it for 12 years, at 1% a month. There was no word in the letter except thanks for my kindness and the assurance that he was now doing pretty well for him. I call that man a gentleman, and I told him so when I wrote him, and I also told him something in the letter which I hoped would please him, that on that day I had made my first bank deposit for my baby son, and that the amount was $24.40, his loan and the interest, and that though the interest for the boy would not be anything like 12%, the deposit ought to bring him good luck. This story was originally reported by the New York Tribune. Thank you for joining us today. Remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.